Did you know that China has a recorded history of fending off viruses for more than 4,700 years? And there are countless examples of people living among the infected for days and even months and not catching the disease. So let's talk about what are the secrets to their survival and what can we learn from them today. In the ancient Chinese medical text Huangdi Neijing, which translates to the inner canon of the Yellow Emperor, it recorded a conversation between the Yellow Emperor and the imperial doctor and minister Qi Bo 4,700 years ago. The emperor asked, "I heard when the 5 plagues happen, it's easy to infect each other, and no matter the age, their symptoms are similar. If nothing is to be done, how can one avoid getting infected?" Qi Bo answered, "People who don't catch the plague are the ones who have righteous qi or air inside of them. The evil qi cannot infect them. One should also avoid the poisonous qi which comes into the body from the nose." So, what exactly is the righteous qi? Let's look at a few stories from history that might answer the question. A famous Qing dynasty doctor, Liu Kui, or Song Feng as he called himself, wrote a book in 1782 titled Song Feng Shuo Yi, which translates to Song Feng talking about plague. In his book, Liu listed many diagnoses and treatment scenarios, as well as a lot of plague-related cases from history. Let's look at a few of them. The first one is from the Book of Jin. There was a man named Yu Gun in the Jin dynasty. He was the uncle-in-law of Emperor Ming. When he was young, his hometown had a plague. 2 of his older brothers have died from the plague, and his second oldest brother was in serious condition. His parents wanted to take all the healthy children and flee, but Yu refused to go. When his father and brothers forced him, he said, "I am not afraid of the disease." He stayed and took care of his second oldest brother for more than 100 days. And eventually the plague went away, and his brother also recovered. What surprised everyone is that Yu never caught the disease despite being with his brother day and night taking care of him. Yu's neighbors said, "This kid is extraordinary. He can fulfill his duty when no one else can and achieve what others cannot. You can't tell evergreens from other trees without a bitter winter, and the plague can't seem to infect a good person." The Qing dynasty doctor Liu Kui commented about this in his book. The heavens will protect those who have filial piety towards his siblings. So that was a story of someone taking care of one patient, but what if 8 of your family members are all sick? There was a story in the Qing dynasty about a woman whose last name was Qian. She went back home to visit when the plague emerged in her husband's hometown. The news was devastating. Some families were completely wiped out and some streets only had a few survivors. Her father-in-law caught the disease and it spread to his whole family, a total of 8 people including him. They couldn't take care of themselves anymore, so they were just laying in bed with no hope. When Qian heard the situation, she wanted to go back right away. Of course, Qian's parents were against it. Their daughter was lucky enough to evade the plague, and now she wants to go back and take care of 8 sick people all by herself? But Qian said to her parents, "When my husband married me, he expected me to take care of his parents as well. Now they're all sick, how can I not go back? Then what difference am I to an animal? Please don't come visit even if I die there." And then she left. Right before she arrived, her father-in-law heard conversations in his house. 2 ghosts said to each other, "The deities are here protecting the filial daughter-in-law. We will get punished if we don't hurry and leave." And once she got back, the whole family of 8 all recovered miraculously. Dr. Liu commented that filial piety is indeed the best prescription to a plague. Okay, it might be an easy choice when someone's family member is in danger, but what if they are complete strangers? There was a story about an official in the Book of Sui. His name is Xin Gongyi. Emperor Wen of Sui assigned him to be the new regional governor of Min province. The locals were afraid of sickness. They would even abandon their family members if they got sick. Xin was shocked by this corrupt custom and wanted to change it. He ordered his assistants to carry all the sick patients to his office to take care of them himself. The number of patients would increase to hundreds during the summer month when the plague arrived. Xin would eat, sleep, and work among them, and he spent all his salary on buying food and medicine for the patients. Xin told the relatives of all the patients, "Life and death are determined by the heavens, not by how much you interact with the sick. You abandoned your family members and left them to die. I have now gathered all the sick here with me and spent days and nights with them. If I were to catch the disease, then I would have died a long time ago. But look, these patients are all recovered. You really shouldn't keep this fear and custom anymore." Imagine how shameful these people must have felt. This local custom was no longer practiced afterwards, and residents of the whole province crowned their governor Xin a benevolent mother with tremendous respect. Dr. Liu commented about this. The reason Xin didn't catch the plague was a result of his righteous and benevolent behaviors. All the civil servants in the world should understand this. Xin was not alone in ancient China. There were many instances of similar situations. For example, during the Ming Dynasty, a big household with the last name Liu all became sick. People were afraid of visiting in fear of catching the plague. Someone named Li Kui heard about it and said, "We're all neighbors. We should help each other during hard times. How can we just sit and watch?" So he and his servant went to live at the Liu family house and took care of the family until they were all recovered. There was another story in the Ming Dynasty. During the reign of the Yongle Emperor, someone named Zhang Yanchen took care of his distant relatives' whole family day and night without fear of catching the plague. He said, "I am doing what I'm supposed to do, so the demons won't harm me. Trees on the side of the road are able to provide shade for passers-by. How can people not be able to help each other?" That's a really nice quote. You know, besides taking care of others, there were also stories of people providing other acts of kindness. In the history of Yuan, there is someone called Ziru Dao. One year, a plague came to his hometown. When he heard someone was cured after eating melons and sweating, he bought loads of rice and melons going around to each house to pass them out. Someone told him that the plague is contagious, don't go into the sick families' homes. Well, he didn't listen, and in the end, he didn't catch the disease. Can you imagine someone going around from house to house to give out soap and toilet paper right now? That's basically what he did in ancient China. Aren't plagues contagious? So how did all these people we mentioned earlier not get infected? In one of my previous episodes, 9 Chinese hacks to cool down naturally in summer, I mentioned how mood can impact body temperatures. In fact, mood can also drastically impact people's health. In April 1903, American scientist, inventor, and psychologist Elmer Gates published a journal titled Physiologic Effects of the Emotions. He did breath and urine analysis of people and found that when they were in a good, happy mood, their bodies would produce nutritious substances. On the other hand, when they were in a bad mood, their bodies would produce poisonous substances that can harm the body. There were more and more such tests conducted later on. In 2007, Dr. Stephen Post and Jill Neimark published a book titled Why Good Things Happen to Good People, in which Post wrote, quote, "The remarkable good news is that, over the past 10 years, we have about 500 serious scientific studies that demonstrate the power of unselfish love to enhance health." Unquote. These studies prove that doing and even thinking good things have an immediate positive impact on the body. It boosts the immune system, and people live longer as a result. Well, needless to say, thinking and doing bad things will have the opposite effect and damaging the immune system. Remember what Qi Bo said 4,700 years ago? People who don't catch a virus are the ones who have righteous qi or air inside of them. The evil qi cannot infect them. Isn't it fascinating that modern science has proven this statement to be very true indeed? If this is your first time watching my video, welcome! My wish is to share universal values from traditional Chinese culture to inspire modern people's lives. Please subscribe if you want to learn more about traditional culture and values, as well as ancient fashion and history. Now let's look at what types of people are more inclined to catch a disease. An easy answer is those who have a weak immune system, but that's just the surface level manifestation. Ancient Chinese people and doctors look at things from a deeper level. Some believe that it's a result of karmic retribution. For example, there once was a cook in Hangzhou. His prized dishes were all made with Chinese soft-shell turtles. But instead of giving them a humane death, he threw them into boiling water and cooked them alive. He made a good amount of money for a few years, and then one day he suddenly caught the plague. At first, his neck shrunk back, and then he started crawling around like a turtle. He died 7 days later after his body became all stinky and rotten. Everyone who saw him knew that he was paying for what he did. There was another story about a hunter who caught a baby ape in the mountain. The mother ape followed him home and begged him to spare her baby. He didn't release the baby, but instead killed it in front of the mother. The mother ape cried and killed herself. The hunter opened her stomach and saw all her intestines were broken. This is so sad. In Chinese, we say 肝肠寸断 to describe devastating sadness. It literally means liver and intestines all broken to the inch. That's exactly what happened to the mother ape. Within half a year, the hunter and his family caught the plague and all died. Chinese people have always believed in karmic retribution. In I Ching, the Book of Changes, there is a quote that's been passed down by generations. It says, quote, "Families who perform kind deeds will accumulate fortune which can outlast generations. Families who perform bad deeds will accumulate misery which can outlast generations." Unquote. So this is what everyone believed regarding one's own action and consequences. At the same time, there is also an understanding about how and why plague happened to a region. In the Song Dynasty book Taiping Guangji, which translates to the extensive records of the Taiping era, there was a story about a magical mirror. While this mirror cannot tell you who is the prettiest person on earth, it can expel a plague when you shine it on someone. It was given to a man because his family did good things in the past. He then took it around the city and tried to expel the plague for every family. The spirit of the mirror appeared at night and told him, quote, "The people have sinned, and the heavens hit them with plague as punishment. How can you make me save them against the heavens' will? Besides, their illness will gradually recover by next month, so please don't use my power anymore." In ancient China, people also believed plagues were spread by ghosts and demons. Like the ghosts in the daughter-in-law story earlier, they were the ones going around dispersing diseases to families and individuals. However, the ghosts and demons cannot do as they want. There are rules they have to abide by. During the end of Jin Dynasty, a Taoist god told a Taoist monk that the Jade Emperor made rules to regulate ghosts and demons. But when moral values have declined and people do all sorts of evil deeds, they bring trouble upon themselves. The ghosts and demons will then come out and create plagues to harm people. During the Southern Dynasty, there was a person named Sima Wenxuan. He found a ghost inside of his house. And the ghost said, 400 demons are ordered to come to the human world to spread the plague. They're targeting those who don't believe in gods. The plague will affect a large area, and in order to prevent good people from getting harmed, I was sent here to oversee it happening. So, what are all of these stories trying to tell us? I think the Chinese philosopher Mozi, who founded the school of Moism, explained it quite clearly in his book Mozi, chapter Woe of Heaven 2. Quote, "When man does not do what heaven desires, but does what heaven despises, heaven will also not do what man desires, but do what man despises. What man despises are plagues and calamities. Therefore, the ancient sage kings studied what heaven would bless and avoided what it would curse in order to obtain benefits for the world and avoid calamities. As a result, heaven made the 4 seasons harmonious, the 5 grains are allowed to ripen, and the 6 animals to mature. and plagues, disasters, and famines will not happen. Therefore, Mozi said, if the gentlemen of the world really desire to follow the Tao and benefit the people, they must be mindful and obedient to the will of heaven. Unquote. And this is what Chinese believed for thousands of years, and it ultimately helped them overcome calamities and plagues. In the midst of chaos, let's have more faith, and I hope everyone can stay safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.